one. That sound okay? He's going to be... Oh, you got the... I was wondering what you're doing that for
I
me.
can hear you. I can hear you. Hello and welcome to Jack McLaughlin Oval for semi-final number 1, the second leg. The Edgeworth Eagles at home to the Maitland Magpies this afternoon. Should be a cracking contest. It was level at 2-all. This match is level at 2-all after the 2-all draw up at Maitland last weekend. Edgeworth led 2-0. Maitland brought it back to 2-all by full time. Joining me in commentary, Chris Turner and Damien Smith. And Damien, big day this afternoon for Edgeworth.
Well, Chris Turner is supposed to be here, but he's running late in traffic. So, yeah, it's a great day to be here, Ben. You know what? I got up this morning at about 6 a.m, went for a run, and I was excited as I was running around. So, as being a player in this situation and a coach in this situation, these are the games you want to play in. So, it's going to be very exciting, and it's going to be very interesting to see what the players and the coaches' mindset is today.
Well, the big news today, Brodie Taylor, you've probably heard during the week, he's out of this afternoon's match with an ankle injury. Pat Wheeler returns from illness, and Matt Comerford, he's on the bench for Maitland this afternoon. Just wanted to get your opinion on that, Damien. Matt Comerford starting on the bench.
Yeah, I think it is a risk. Like he's 2 weeks post rib fracture. If it was me, I'd probably start him because there's a risk if he does come in with say 20 or half an hour to go and he gets a knock and he comes back off. Well, that's a waste of sub. So if I was a coach of Maitland, I probably would have risked him and start him straight away.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because you bring him on late. You're pretty much wasting 2 subs if he comes on late and gets injured and has to go off.
Or it might pay off. You know, he's a great impact player to bring on with like 20 or 30 to go, especially if they're chasing the game because he's a very dangerous player. So it might work for him, but there is that slight risk. If he gets a knock, it could get automatically subbed again. So, but yeah, playing with a fractured rib is a difficult one.
So Maitland running from left to right to start proceedings this afternoon. Ryan Clark, Ben Martin and Matt Thompson in the centre circle. And we are underway at Jack McLaughlin Oval this afternoon. Maitland from left to right in their away kit, predominantly white in colour, and Edgeworth from right to left in their home kit, their red kit with the black sash.
Yeah, Ben, I think Maitland need to win today. I can't see it being a 2-all draw or a 3-all draw. I think Maitland need to win today. So it'll be interesting to see what their mindset is. Do they just hold off, let the game just sort of drift away and then press in the last 30 minutes? I'm unsure. But for Edgeworth, if I was them, I'd put pressure on straight away and try get an early goal, and that will put Maitland under pressure.
Well, there's a nice touch from Daniel Miners on to Aidan Bryce. Just got run off the ball there by Liam Thornton. Now Dean Heffernan on it for Maitland. Goes to Jai McKellar to Matt Thompson. And Matt Thompson, he swerves around Miners. Brings it up over halfway. And goes back to Thornton. Looks for Clark. And it's allowed just to run on towards Fogarty. But Bazzari gets his boot in. Going back to left back this afternoon, Don Bazzari with Pat Wheeler back in the side. After that illness went through the Eagles camp last week. That's Ryan Broadley back to Liam Thornton. It's
also interesting with the mindset for Edgeworth. Like they've got a 2-goal away advantage. They know a 0-all, 1-all draw today gets them through. Obviously, a win will get them through. So you have to wonder what their mindset. But talking to Damien Zane before the game, they're taking this as another game. They're out to win this game. It's their home game, and they want to place in the grand final.
Well, the stat this afternoon for Edgeworth is that Damien Zane has actually never won a semi-final match at the helm of the Eagles. 2 draws against Broadmeadow last year and the draw last week against Maitland. He did win the grand final last year, the important one.
The important one, that's right.
Against Hamilton.
Tell you what, Ben, you're full of stats, mate, and I'm impressed with your stats.
They had a 0-all draw, actually, in the second leg. It was the second leg here at Jack McLaughlin Oval against Broadmeadow Magic. And there were claims for a penalty late for Broadmeadow. It was a tight and tense affair after the first leg was drawn 3-all. So similar circumstances. If it is 0-all, Edgeworth will go through. Heffernan goes to Thompson, who was just offside. And the free kick goes the Eagles' way after just over 2 minutes.
And Ben, it's quite interesting today. We've got Western Sydney Wanderers assistant coach Hayden Fox out with us, a good old mate of mine from many years ago. We're going to have a chat with him probably in about 20 minutes or so, but obviously he's coming on for a spy mission for Tuesday night's FFA Cup tie against Edgeworth.
And that one Tuesday night, that should be a cracking matchup. We saw what Edgeworth did last year against Melbourne City. Western Sydney Wanderers Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. It's Josh Evans now on the ball. From all reports, they've been studying the Eagles closely, the Western Sydney Wanderers, and Matt Trott gets his first touch of the afternoon.
Very interesting, the first 5 minutes, Ben. Both teams are just sort of a bit cagey, just sizing each other up. Both are playing exactly the same shapes as last week. Maitland sitting a little bit deep, allowing Edgeworth to come at him. It looks like Maitland's probably just going to try and hold on to a nil or draw to after half-time, then push.
Pat Wheeler gets right under it. A win, as we mentioned, for Maitland. That's enough to get them through this afternoon with the draw last week. There's Josh Evans. Goes to Holtz. Now Bazari gets cleaned up by Zach Hill, who was outstanding last weekend up at Maitland. Zach Hill.
Yeah, we gave him man of the match last week. He was outstanding. He pushed forward. It was great in attack and great in defence. He kept Kigo Moriarty very quiet, so he's obviously in for a big game already today.
Moriarty on the bench for this one, so you'd expect some impact off the bench. As Josh Evans finds Bazari on his left foot, whips it in towards Dylan Hulse, who's been in outstanding form of late. A goal last week, and I think that was the third match in a row, Dylan Hulse scoring for Edgeworth.
Just on Brodie Taylor, talking to Damien Zane prior to the game, they're going to give him to the last minute on Tuesday night against Western Sydney Wanderers. He's a big loss for them, Brodie Taylor. He scored 8 goals this year, and he's attacking weapon, so they're going to give him to the last minute on Tuesday night.
As the corner whipped in, McBrain couldn't get his head to it. Carl Thornton got it away. Bren Hamill didn't get the height required, and Carl Thornton was there again. Bazari, Dylan Hulse did score in that. The last match these two sides played in the regular season, which was in round 17. Edgeworth won 2-1 that afternoon. He scored for the Eagles. He also scored against Adamstown the week after, and then Maitland last weekend with that turn and volley into the bottom left-hand corner.
And that was the day Brodie Taylor got injured as well. So I like how Edgeworth's using the width here. I didn't think they were wide enough last week. They've been nice and wide.
It's Bren Hamill towards the back post. No one there for Edgeworth. Of course, the pitch was brought in about 3 or 4 metres on each side by Maitland. It was a cunning move.
Yeah, very smart move, I thought. They know that Edgeworth are very mobile. They're young and they're quick. So obviously trying to compact the space. And we must give full credit to Warren Mills today with the pitch is in fine form. Considering the rain we've had.
Oh, no,
absolutely brilliant.
It has turned out very well. The covers, I saw the covers were on during the week. And the pitch looks beautiful.
And Edgeworth hosts the grand final tomorrow, the New FM grand final. So
we'll be here live from 3 p.m. Bell Swans up against Walls End. That should be an entertaining match as well. So join us from 3 p.m. then here at Jack McLaughlin Oval. We've also got the other semi tonight at 6:30. Broadmeadow Magic travel to Hamilton to meet Olympic, who of course have Daniel Bird out. So what a day we've got of semi-final action on Bar TV. Brought to you by Top Better in the NPL, the PlayStation 4 and Northern New South Wales NPL, as Pat Wheeler brings it across to Don Bazari.
Just looking at Maitland, they're playing exactly the same as last week. They're sitting really deep, just outside the D. They're allowing the ball played in front of them so they can defend quite easy. But you know what? If Edgeworth use the width, play their 1-2s, they link up plays through McBrain, that they're going to be dangerous.
Here's Keanu Moore. Came off the bench last weekend, but starting this week against Maitland. Adding a bit more up front for the Eagles. Of course, Edgeworth finishing in first place on the ladder in the regular season. 46 points, 15 wins, just the one draw against Broadmeadow Magic and 2 losses, both against Hamilton. And Maitland, they finished 17 points below Edgeworth. 8 wins, 5 draws and 5 losses. They've struggled against the top sides this year of Maitland. They went down twice. As we see Aidan Bryce give away the free kick.
Yeah, good call by
Glenn
Peterkin. Just on Glenn Peterkin, the referee, he had a baby boy called Cooper 2 months ago, so congratulations to Glenn Peterkin.
Fantastic for Glenn. I believe he does Newey Park Run too at Carrington on a Saturday morning, as does Andrew Digby. And Jai McKellar's actually not in a good way here. Getting clipped by Aidan Bryce.
Yeah, just on Glenn Peterkin. He's married to Tanya, a former linesman referee in the local Premier League. So congratulations to them both.
Refereeing family. Do you think Cooper will be a referee when he gets older?
He'll have to be mad to be a referee, to be honest. But you never know. He might follow in his father's footsteps.
Yeah, just going back to Maitland's results against the top side. So they had 2 draws against Hamilton, but that's about as good as it got. They lost twice to Edgeworth during the regular season and twice to Broadmeadow Magic. And they lost only once to a side below them in Valentine Phoenix. It was 1-0 back in round 11. And he's here.
Surprise, surprise. I can't believe it. TC, you join us.
How are you, Smudge?
The game's half over, mate.
Hello, Bart.
Good afternoon. Lucky for you, there's been no goals in the opening 8 and a bit minutes, so the excitement we're still awaiting as here's Holtz getting challenged by Carl Thornton. And now Broadley. And Damien, I meant to ask you before, how are these two sides lining up formation-wise as we see Josh Evans win a free kick for Edgeworth?
Yeah, just on that, I've just noticed the slight tweak that Maitland's done is Ryan Clark is actually playing up front. They're probably using his pace up front rather than the wider position, and Ryan Broadley's moved out to the right midfield position. So exactly the same shape as last week. However, the swap between Broadley and Ryan Clark is the only noticeable inclusion.
Here's Aiden Bryce towards McBrain and Dylan Hulse as well, and McBrain rises. Matt Trott comes out and the free kick goes.
Just glancing my eyes over the park, and sorry, apologies for being a bit late, just had an appointment I had to get to. Just having a look across the park, and John McKellar looks like he's having a limp. I don't know whether he's copped a knock or not, but he doesn't look like he's running freely.
Yes.
If you were here on time, CT, you would have seen a knock about 5 minutes ago.
He just got cleaned up by Aiden Bryce not long ago at all.
Sorry about that all.
Here's Aiden Bryce towards County Moore. We're looking for the record today on Bar TV. Most viewers at the one time. It's 3:40. So we'll see if we can get there either in this match or the one after. Magic Hamilton, I'm sure there'll be plenty watching that one on Bar TV Sports. Here's Josh Evans.
Just on Maitland, they're very disciplined in defence here. They sit in that line exactly the same spot every time Edgeworth gets the ball. If they're disciplined today, they're going to be dangerous. I think they're just after a 1-goal win for my liking, which would do them. So
I was just looking in terms of the top 4 sides. You've got Hamilton and Edgeworth, 10 points clear Hamilton of Broadmeadow Magic. And then you've got Magic and Maitland. They're both good at different things. So I'm thinking that Maitland this ball goes towards McBrain and Carl Thornton with the header away. I think Maitland are just as good a defensive side as Hamilton and Edgeworth, but their attack lets them down. And for Magic, it's the opposite. Magic's attack is as good as Hamilton and Edgeworth, but their defence lets them down. So that's just the difference between Maitland and Magic and Hamilton and Edgeworth this season.
You know the interesting move by Damien Zane, bringing Daniel Minor. He's more of a defensive player in the midfield. Last week he had Aidan Gardner in there, who's more of an attacking midfield. So obviously their initial mindset is, we don't want to concede today.
Here's Don Bazzari, swinging it in on his left boot towards McBrain. There was the header, Matt Trott. Got it there at the back post.
So the only worry with Daniel Miners, my only worry is that Daniel Miners might cramp Lachlan Pasquale's style in that middle of the park. However,
here's Jai McKellar. He looks to be all right now as Pat Wheeler puts it over the sideline.
However, like I said, if they rotate, push each other forward, it can definitely work.
17 matches it's been since 1997 that Maitland have met Edgeworth. They've won none of them. 15 wins for Edgeworth and 2 draws for Maitland. They don't have to win this to go through if it's a high-scoring draw, but you'd expect, based on their defensive record, they're going to need to win this one. I can't see Maitland scoring 3 goals this afternoon. I may be made to eat my words, but I can't see it happening. So here's Dylan Hulse with a touch on through to McBrain. Would you guys agree with that? Can you say Maitland scoring 3 or 4 goals to draw a match this afternoon?
For my liking, definitely not. I think they're here for a 1-0 victory, to be honest. The way they've set themselves, and I think it's a smart play. I'm unsure how many games Edgeworth conceded more than 2 goals, 2 or more goals in a game at Edgeworth.
Here's Josh Evans. I'll quickly get that stat for you, Damien.
It's interesting the amount of rain that we've had. The ground looks in reasonable shape from here. I don't know if either of you got a chance to get down and have a walk on it, but it doesn't look too bad. I was expecting it to be a lot heavier underfoot.
Oh, agree. Absolutely agree. But yeah, now it's quite firm underfoot. So
yeah, the ball's running well.
Yeah.
Damien, I've just got that for you. So Edgeworth have conceded 3 at more than 2 or more at Jack McLaughlin Oval on 3 occasions.
This year?
This year. 4-2 against the Jets. That was twice. And 3-2, they went down to Maitland. So there's the 3. Here's another free kick to Edgeworth. And are we going to see the first card? It's Zach Hill. He's been involved in a few challenges early on, and it only takes, well, just almost 13 minutes, and he's already into the book, Zach Hill.
Well, he had a big game last week, didn't he? But we gave him the man of the match, in our opinion, and he was in everything. He got forward when he needed to, and he was in defence. He was tackled really strong. He was Moriarty who was marking most of the day and did a really good job on him. And I think he probably wants to step up again, and he's probably just overdone that one a little bit. It was a great ball in from McBreen, and his tackle was just a little bit heavy.
I just want to ask you two, is this the issue with having Moriarty on the bench? You only get him for 30 minutes for these free kicks.
Oh, yes and no. I mean, look,
it's not about free kicks, really. Free kicks do come into the game, but for my liking, you have your defensive structure. If you don't leak a goal, you're a chance of winning. And you know what? They've got so many mobile and attacking players, Edgeworth.
He scored from here against South Cardiff last year. Brent Hamill, and he does it again in the semi-final.
Oh, what a wonderful strike from Hamill. Yeah, you're exactly right. He has done that, and he has done it in the past. We've seen him, and he's just absolutely slotted that one in the perfect position. Hamill, perfect, absolutely perfect free kick.
Who needs Moriarty? We just spoke about him. Who needs Moriarty? Obviously Edgeworth do, because he's been fantastic this year, but Brent Hamill, there he is. Beautiful strike.
Just like the one he scored at South Cardiff last year, and I remember that game well because he also carried a dog off the field that got on there.
That's
at
exactly
Ulinga Park.
We were there, weren't we?
What an afternoon.
Sorry, just coming back to Maitland, that's the issue about sitting deep, allowing Edgeworth having the ball, allowing them to come forward. That caused the free kick, which allowed them to have a set play and goal.
Look,
now Maitland have to come forward.
Have to go back. McBreen's put a great ball in, for that foul to occur, and Zach Hill's got the bump on the shoulder and it's just a little bit heavy. But I mean, you can't take anything away from a free kick like that. You got to just stand back and clap that.
They've given away a few free kicks down their defensive end of Maitland. This is Ryan Broadley towards the sideline. Holtz with a bump on Broadley, and Holtz goes flying towards the fence here at Edgeworth. It is very close to the field, just down from us in the commentary position.
So Ben, just on the game now Maitland do need to score 2 goals to stay in the match.
Exactly. So it's going to be 2. They're going to go home and go to the grand final next week, or it's going to be extra time. Ryan Clark. We'll see if they play more expansively. Here's this pace we talk about. Ryan Clark cutting towards the middle of the box. Still Clark. He's got Aiden Bryce, and on his left foot he just blazes that one wide.
Yeah, I think if Clark had his time again, he'd be driving straight at the box, straight at Fogarty, try and get him in a one-on-one situation and try to slot it in.
Yeah, and you know what? Ben Martin was timing his run from inside his own half to stay on side and getting himself into position so he could be around for a tap-in if that occurred as well, Smudge.
Yeah, the other thing with Maitland, they need to be careful here. Do they come and press the game a bit more, trying to get the goal, or do they sit back and just wait, clock out a few more minutes? Because if they do come and press, they might open up, and Edgeworth might get another one, and then it'll be, for my like, it'll be game over.
McBreen too quick there for Blake Thompson, down in the corner. And he brings it back to Bazari. Ryan Broadley just let it run through his legs, and the free kick goes Maitland's way. Sorry about that, CT.
No, that's all good. I was just going to reply back to Smudge with your comment there. I think that you need to go on attack. You can't sit in because this scoreline right now doesn't do it. It's not it, and you need to get yourself forward into the game. They'll need to adjust things, whether that instruction is going to come from the sideline now or whether it's something to make a decision, subconsciously on the park. They've got to get themselves in the game, and sitting back's not the answer.
Over the sideline from Maitland throw now. Zach Hill's down to take it.
But the other thing, they have to be careful they don't press hard so they don't open themselves up for Edgeworth to get more chances. So, yeah, it's a fine line there, TC, and I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, but you did speak about their defensive shape and how secure they were. And if they do that, if they do keep themselves well organised and they keep their shape, they keep McBreen and Hamill, who seems to be getting forward regularly now under wraps, and it might allow themselves to press forward a little bit more. It's not that they're not in the game; it's just that they need to score.
The other thing I'm liking about Edgeworth, and I was a bit critical last week, they weren't wide enough. They weren't getting their wide blokes high and wide enough, or even their fullbacks overlapping quick enough. But today they're nice and wide, opening the game up, really spreading the Maitland defence and midfield, and at the moment, looking comfortable.
Well, you wonder how much that plays on their mind, because they know Maitland brought the ground in by 3.5 metres each side last week, and think, all right, well, if that's what they want to do, they don't want to play with width, so let's stretch them out. And you're right, they have been a lot wider, and also you can see the length between the last line and where the striker is, McBreen. There's lots of room there now. There's a room to play, and that'll suit them.
Hayden Bryce now on the ball. I want to ask you too, what are Maitland going to do now? You know, they came here, they wanted to score based on the style they were playing early on. They want to score a late winner and go home, sneak out of Jack McLaughlin over. They've now conceded. What are they going to do? What's Reece Thompson going to do?
I don't think they can just go full on and press. I think they just need to get the back line up a little bit, compact the space. The other thing is, because they're playing a 4-4-2, they're getting overloaded in the midfield with the 3 Edgeworth guys. So I think they need to correct that, because the midfield's just picking up the ball nice and easy. So maybe drop Ryan Clark just a little bit deeper, so it's like a 4-4-1-1. And also, and just try and, at the moment, just catch them on the break. They do not want to concede another goal. So I wouldn't change too much right at the moment, but as the game goes on, say in the next 10 or so minutes, then I definitely would.
Here's Ryan Clark cutting one back towards the middle. Ben Martin with the header. Jim Fogarty can't get there. And Maitland have equalised. Ben Martin with the goal.
Well, he's done something there, Clark, that it possibly would have wanted to do before. He's made a decision this time not to drive at goals, get himself out wide, finds Ben Martin, perfect cross, and Benny Martin, he stuck that away particularly well and left Fogarty with nothing.
Yeah, great header by Ben Martin, but all credit goes to Ryan Clark. He's a good player, Ryan Clark. He's dangerous. Damien Zane said before the game, he's their danger man. So, congratulations. Now it's game on. Very exciting.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, go on, Bart.
I thought before this game, this is the place where Maitland were different, where they needed someone, was in the middle. You know, you got Comerford, you got Clark on each side. They can whip in crosses. They need a man in the middle who can put them away. Ben Martin's that man today.
Hey, just on Maitland. Maitland's in a great position here. It's 1-1. There's a long way to go. They just need another goal, but they need to tighten up at defence. And to be honest, I'll be just pushing the back line out a bit, squeezing the midfield in, and probably dropping Ryan Clark just a little bit back, so they're playing a 4-1-4-1 rather than a 4-4-2, just to combat that 3 in the middle for Edgeworth.
I'll tell you what, this goal from Ben Martin just now is really critical, and personally for him, it'll give him a lot of confidence. He's going to be dangerous as this game goes on, because he loves the big stage. Smudge, you've known him for a long time as well, and I think, look, he's wanting to know. He's wanting the ball. He's all over it, and I don't think his day's far from over yet.
Blake Thompson running it down and playing it up towards Zach Hill, but maybe just you think Maitland playing that more expansive style, maybe it's better for them. We saw last week they went down 2-0. That was they played even better when they were down 2-0 than when they were level with Edgeworth. So it's Jai McKellar trying to play it through towards Clark, and Josh Evans, I'm not quite sure what he was trying to do there, and Jim Fogarty has to get on his
exactly
bike.
What he was doing there, Bart. He was straight back to the goalkeeper.
It looked like it.
Yeah, just on Maitland. The thing about Maitland, when they transition really quick, play on the counter-attack, that's when they're very dangerous, especially with the pace of Ryan Clark. So you know what? I'll continue as normal at the moment.
Well, I had a chance to speak to Reece Thompson this morning, and he was talking about them not conceding a goal. It was really important we don't concede a goal, and so you can see the way they've set up defensively. That's clearly high on their priority, but the game's changed now. They've got one against them. They've had to score, and they've done that now. And now, being in a position that they're thinking, all right, well, we've scored against Edgeworth last week. We've done it again today. We can go on with this. Had Matt Thompson on the ball just there. Had a chance to have a bite to lunch with him during the week, and he was very optimistic about the way that they were going to play today. They had a plan, and he said that they believed they were in it. They paid a lot of respect to Edgeworth. He did, and said what a great side they are, and he picked out some of their strengths, being their mobility and their passing, etc. But he believes that Maitland have got the team that can do the job.
They did the job last week as well. You know, they were very set in what they wanted to do last week, and they achieved that. And they would have been happy with a 2-2 draw in the end, especially with Edgeworth being up 2-0 and very comfortable in the first half. Yeah,
well, just one more point, sorry, Bart, is that when Maitland got on a roll last week, the momentum was with them, and I actually spoke to Matt Thompson about that during the week, how that momentum was really strong for them, and couldn't really put their finger on it, but they seemed to be on top of Edgeworth for a good 20 minutes of the game, and maybe, you know, they've got that same opportunity here again today.
That was Ben Martin's 3rd goal of the season for Maitland, and his most important so far, you'd have to say. He knows how to score the big goals, as we see offside there against Edgeworth, so a Maitland free kick. He knows when to score the big ones. He scored the match winner in the grand final against Valentine in the new FM competition back in 2014. And it wasn't to get them promoted, but it was a big day, the grand final, and Maitland got up on that occasion. They're actually the last side to win the minor premiership in the New FM and go on to win the grand final. The last 2 seasons, that side has lost the grand final. Valentine last year went down to Wallsend, and this year Lake Macquarie won't be there tomorrow. They were knocked out in the semi-finals last weekend. So definitely Ben Martin, he knows what to do on the big stage as Don Bazari's header goes down towards Broadley. And now Matt Thompson. You know how important he is to Maitland. Carl Thornton. Cross to Hill. Takes on Dylan Hulse. Whips it in. Broadley was in there, but Josh Evans was there too. And now Blake Thompson got in front of McBrain. He almost outwitted him there, Daniel McBrain. And then Thornton's pass into Keanu Moore's shin and over for a Maitland throw.
You know what? That's the thing with McBrain. As we know, he's a great attacking player, but a defensive player in that number 9 position, he does a great job. He works hard. He structures the defensive line right where he is, and he's a major asset to their team.
Dean Heffernan letting it run back. We know his expertise, Perth Glory, Melbourne Heart, Central Coast Mariners and the Wanderers, 4 A-League clubs for him. The side that Edgeworth will play on Tuesday night. He actually spoke in the Newcastle Herald today in the article about this match, about whether Edgeworth would have one eye on that Western Sydney match on Tuesday, taking on one of the best defensive sides in Australia and one of the best sides in the A-League.
Just on that, Bart, I was talking to Damien Zane before the game, and they've got ice baths straight after the game. They've got about 5 Sulo bins. They're jumping straight in there, and they're going and doing a beach session tomorrow morning. So, obviously, they've got one eye on FFA Cup game on Tuesday night, but also, you know, they want to be there next Sunday in the grand final.
Well, that's what I asked Damien Zane what the priority was, because Reece Thompson was thinking, you know, they'd have one eye on this and one eye on the FFA Cup, but Damien Zane said the round of 16 was our goal. We're there now. Now we want to get to the grand finals. Aiden Bryce towards the back post. Dylan Holt straight at Matt Trott.
Unlucky by Dylan Holt's great run at the back stick.
And a great ball in as well.
There's now Matt Thompson up towards halfway. And
just while the ball's out, I just want to take this opportunity to thank Edgeworth, Warren Mills in particular. Millsy's over our shoulder. He's put us in the absolute box seat. We've been on his case a little bit about our little setup in here. We were shuffled back a little bit before, rightfully so, to look after the sponsors. But I'll tell you what, hasn't he looked after us today, Smudge?
Oh, he sure has. He always looks after me, Warren Mills. I'm his favourite man.
Really? Well, that's what he tells me. Although I do notice you've got a water in front of you. Did you buy that, or did Millsy give it to you?
No, I bought it, mate.
Yeah, okay. He did offer me one before, but I knocked it back. Thanks anyway.
Here's Bren Hamill on the ball towards the back post. There's McBrain again with the header back to Keanu Moore. Now McBrain on the volley across the face. Somehow it doesn't go in. I don't know if that deflected or anything
That's where Edgeworth's dangerous, playing link-up play with McBrain. And he's used his body so well in the box. And he was unlucky there on his favoured left foot. Yeah, just on Warren Mills. Yeah, I had to pay to come up to the sponsors box.
Really? Is that right?
Yes.
I did see Smudge into the fridge. I did see Smudge diving into the fridge before. I wasn't sure what he was doing, so he must have been going after the water. It's Don Bazari with the corner kick towards the near post, and Jai McKellar heads it over for another corner.
I'm surprised it's not a can of Tui's New or a 4X, Smudge. Water.
Not me, mate. It's Saturday today.
Bazari, back to Hulse. We've actually got a penalty shootout on the other ground here at Edgeworth, so that's where the entertainment is at the moment. Josh Evans with the header over. I might have a look over there. Edgeworth are taking on, not quite sure who that club is. I don't know if you guys could. It's in the all-age competition, I believe. The drama on over there, maybe.
Maybe Valentine's got us. Can see a bit of orange around the sleeve. And white,
maybe we'll get one of those here at Jack McLaughlin this afternoon. Hopefully not for the supporters of both sides, but definitely a possibility as we tick towards the 27-minute mark. At Jack McLaughlin Oval, 2-2. The first leg, it's 1-1 at the moment, so it's Edgeworth going through. But that will change if it is 2-2. Josh Evans with the header. Towards McBrain. Liam Thornton got a foot in. He scored at Jack McLaughlin Oval last time these sides met here. In that round 17 match. Scored the opener to put Maitland ahead. In the end, it was McBrain and Dylan Holtz with the goals to send Edgeworth to send Edgeworth to their second minor premiership in as many years, Dylan Holtz. He's had a running battle with Ryan Broadley this afternoon. Now Holtz and Thompson come together. And
you know what? I thought that might have went the other way.
Here is that push and shove between Broadley and Dylan Holtz.
Yeah, I thought Broadley got him across the face, actually, for the initial challenge. And it looked like Thompson went over the ball slightly, so he was unlucky, Dylan Holtz.
Ryan Clark in the back of Josh Evans, and it's over for another goal kick.
And that's going to be another good battle, Josh Evans and Ryan Clark. Josh Evans is probably one of the standout players of the competition.
Ryan Clark won the battle last week, made a mockery of Josh Evans, didn't he, at the back?
You know, he did have a really good game, but Josh Evans has been really good all year, and that one was out of character for him. Yeah,
talking to Damien Zane, I think he was away for about three weeks and was unable to train the week, I think the Tuesday night leading up to that game, so he was just a little bit rusty, so yeah. So he'll be in for a big game today.
Bren Hamill taking on Liam Thornton, who wins that duel. Thornton up the line to Ben Martin. And Daniel Miners, I should say, with the interception. Pasquale.
But one thing I've noticed, Pasquale hasn't been on the ball as much as we like Damien Zane would probably like. So that's what I was saying with Daniel Miners in there. He plays that deeper role as well, so they can crowd each other. So for my liking, I like to have Pasquale just sitting in front of the back four, getting on the ball, so he's able to switch play.
Edgeworth have gone down on the other field.
If it is Valentine, they're very, very happy down there.
Celebrations all round. Wonder if we will have that drama this afternoon. We had extra time drama last year. Lambton and Hamilton, they went for 30 minutes extra in the second leg. Reese Cooper with an outstanding individual goal to win them through to the grand final. Here's Keanu Moore.
It's good to see Moore back this week. He was crook last week.
Towards the back post, Dylan Holtz not quite there. And Zach Hill with a header away. Bazari on his left foot, curling it towards the back post. He's been dangerous. And he's had some space, Don Bazari, on this left side, but that one, not one of his best crosses. Miners. Back to Aidan Bryce. He was given plenty of space at Maitland last weekend. Plays it to Hamill. Hamill low. And Carl Thornton's there for the clearance. Over towards the Maitland fans on the far side of the ground. Just over 30 gone. Bar TV Sports live coverage. Semi-final number 1, Edgeworth up against Maitland this afternoon. And Damien Smith, he's got a special guest, the Western Sydney Wanderers assistant coach. There's Daniel Miners. We'll go over to you now, Smudge.
Okay, I have former Socceroo, EPL, A-League, and now current Western Sydney assistant coach Hayden Fox. Foxy, welcome to sunny Newcastle, mate.
Cheers, mate. You know how to put the weather on for us, don't you?
Of course. Mate, you had a good win against Wellington 3-2 a few weeks ago in the FFA Cup. How's pre-season been shaping up, and how's the side shaping up for this year?
We had many changes again this year, which I think you're able to do in the A-League with such a long pre-season, 3.5 months, so you can really get some good prep, and when you have a big turnover like we've had, it's refreshing for everyone. It keeps everyone sharp and ready to go again, and we kind of plan this way each and every season.
So, mate, you played under many coaches, and you've assisted many coaches in your lifetime. Now, Tony Popovich has had great success in a short period of time. What's the difference, or what does Tony Popovich bring that other coaches don't bring?
His attention to detail across the whole board, not just on the football pitch, but the surroundings off the pitch, second to none. He's done a hell of a lot of research on the physical side, nutrition, sleep patterns, recovery, you name it. He's studied it, and he's gone to great lengths around the world to have a look at different coaching styles and the way clubs are run. And as I said, he's second to none in that department, especially with his detail.
Okay, now round of 16 on Tuesday night against Edgeworth Eagles. Obviously, you're here on a spy mission. What are your thoughts on Edgeworth, and what's your plan on Tuesday night?
Yeah, obviously it's to win. I think it's a great occasion. The FFA Cup now, each year it's growing and growing, and it's a great event for Edgeworth. I think the last year they played Melbourne City, were only a minute away from taking that into extra time. So obviously they've got a very good setup here and an organised setup, which you need to play in these type of games. But seen today that they're totally dominating the game with Maitland sitting very deep. It's just unfortunate that Maitland have had one opportunity and one goal really.
Yeah, that's true. Like, Edgeworth's the pinnacle of our comp this year. They've been fantastic, and on behalf of all the clubs in the local league, we wish them all the best on Tuesday night against you guys. And just finally, on behalf of myself and our dodgy mate Damon Langan, we'd just like to thank you 15 years ago for letting us start your place on the Thames when you were playing with West Ham United. Thanks, mate, and I don't think we trashed it too much. And all the best on Tuesday night, buddy.
Thanks to Hayden Fox and Damien Smith for that. I think you've got some exciting stories to tell there, Damien, as this ball is whipped in towards Pasquale, who has a shot which just fizzes wide of the goal.
Come back to that in a sec, Smudge. That's straight from Pasquale. My gosh, if that was any lower, obviously, it was going to cause Trott all sorts of problems. I'm not sure if he would have got to that or not, the power that was on it. And he's looking pretty happy with that, and maybe some more come out a bit later on from him.
It was a goal of the season contender if it went in.
Well, as I said, I think it may have had the keeper beaten, but I'd love to have seen it a bit lower to see what happened.
Blake Thompson, Maitland's captain, looking like he may not play next year for them, potentially heading overseas for a year.
Sorry, back to you, Smudge. You probably do have a fair few stories.
I probably do, but I can't remember them because obviously you go on Kentucky and you do the old Europe thing, and H took us to a West Ham game, which is great. So, yeah.
Ryan Clark with a touch onto Broadley. Broadley, that was well played, but Pat Wheeler got his chest there. And unfortunately for Broadley, it came back off him and over for a goal kick.
Yeah, very unlucky from Maitland. But, just on that, it was awesome that Hayden Fox... I've known the Foxes for, 20-odd years, so from my old Blacktown days. So, yeah...
Well, by the look on your mate Foxy's face there a minute ago, he had a bit of a smile and a bit of a, something might have happened there, a bit of a half cover-up. Yep, Smudge, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, we looked after you all right, don't worry.
Here's Josh Evans on halfway. I think if we get a show next year, a weekly NPL show, we should have story time with Damien Smith.
Oh, yeah.
A segment.
My wife would love that.
There'd be plenty of them.
Here's Aiden Bryce down the far side towards the back post. Holtz was there. Oh, Keanu Moore was just a little bit behind him, so he couldn't get his boot to it. He got his boot to it, but couldn't get it on goal. Ryan Clark now all of a sudden racing down the other end of the ground. Collides with Bazari. And Matt Trott is down. Now, that was a collision between Dylan Holtz, McBreen, and Trott. We mentioned in previous weeks, he's played for the Mariners. He's also played in Europe with Didcot Town. And back up to Danny Vukovic in that 2008 grand final when they went down to the Jets. Moved to Maitland to get closer to his family, did Matt Trott.
Yeah, Matt Trott's been outstanding this year. We talk about the likes of Daniel Ireland. Fogarty has been brilliant as well this year, but Matt Trott has also been brilliant as well. So
interesting just in front of us. We've got a break in play, but both teams are going over to their respective benches, and Damien Zane's got plenty to say down there. He's talking to his players about where they're shifting, where they're holding, where he wants people to get forward a little bit deeper. The arms are going everywhere, and the players are completely focused on what he's got to say.
Yeah, I think just on that, I think he wants the ball being played a lot quicker. That's what they're good at, is the rotation in midfield and getting the ball moving nice and quick. At the moment, it is pretty hot conditions out there, but I think, he'll be wanting the ball to be moved a lot quicker than what it is at the moment.
Well, as you said, before about Pasquale, getting him on the ball a bit more than what we did, he would like to be on the ball a bit more, I think, and I know that Maitland, and I can say this with confidence, I know that they can see his importance, that position, whether it's him or someone else. The importance of that role in front of the back four in the distribution is going to be really, or has been key for them all year. And the more Zane can get him on the ball, the better Edgeworth are going to be.
Yeah, I think in today's game he's just probably about 5 or 10 yards a bit too high. I'd probably just drop him back just in front of the fort so he's picking it up like he usually does.
Zach Hill's going to take the throw, so Matt Trott looks all right. Just over 37 minutes gone.
And just going back to that, where the ball went out, I actually thought that was a free kick to Edgeworth. Bazari got cleaned up by, I think it was Clark. Stiffened at shoulder and took him out. But anyway, Maitland with the throw.
So here's Dylan Holes, copping some attention there from Ryan Clark. He's got plenty of attention from the Maitland players this afternoon, is Dylan Holes.
What's really noticeable about Maitland is like the players like your Dean Heffernans and your Matt Thompson, the experience there. Just slow and play down. Yep, just slow and play down.
Down towards the sideline. The throw again for Maitland. Big crowd in here at Jack McLaughlin Oval this afternoon as Dylan Holes just gets his head in there. 6 goals this season. Junior club was the Central Coast Lightning. Dylan Holes.
Yeah, it is a good crowd in. Just looking across both ways, you probably can't see it.
And now Jim Fogarty comes out and he got there in front of Jai McKellar.
Can't see it on the camera, but all the grandstands appear to be full right through smudge either end, up and down and spilling out into up into the northern end of the ground, up in that corner.
And even the other side with the Maitland fans.
Yeah, sure are.
So this is where you want Pasquale on the ball. However, Daniel Minos, for me, is just cramping his style just a little bit. Not that Daniel Minos not doing a great job there, but...
Here's McBrain trying to get a shot off. You just see him looking to get it onto that left foot, but Maitland blocked him well. And now Ryan Clark. This is where he loves to be with broken space, but Daniel Miners was there. McBrain. And then Miners. McBrain got cleaned up. Edgeworth fans wanted the free kick, but not given. And Matt Thompson, who hasn't really been in the game in the opening 39 minutes, as Matt Thompson.
Yeah, but he's organising the defence, the defensive structure. He's organising that really well. You can hear him talking. He's retreating when he needs to, setting the defensive line, and that's what's working for Maitland at the moment.
Yeah, him and Thornton in the middle of there, I think are actually doing a very good job.
Here's Bazzari after the 1-2, played with McBrain towards the back post. It's very high. And Liam Thornton decides he'll just head it over for a corner kick for Edgeworth.
Yeah, you're right, Smudge. I was just going to say on Thompson there, just as you were saying that, I was just looking at him and he had his arm out and he was barking instructions and organising where everyone needed to be, and they looked like they were in good shape, and that's what he does well. I mean, he's a good communicator out on the park. He doesn't get overly flustered. Even that bump that he had down before, he just got up, walked away like a professional would, and got on with the job. And I think he'll. If he's not on the ball that much at the moment, as the game goes on, he'll work his way through.
His experience is invaluable. And when you see him on the ball, he only has his touch and gets off it. He
That's
never
right.
loses the ball.
Yeah, pick it up and roll it off, pick it up, roll it off.
Here's Bazzari towards Evans, who didn't get his head to it. McKellar away, and now Moore to Bryce. Bryce has a shot,
He
but
was unlucky, Bryce, wasn't he?
Yeah, he only had half a foot to take a swing at that. It was more like a little stab that just didn't come off his boot the way
I was unsure whether it may have clipped Carl Thornton, but obviously not. Blake Thompson.
Zach Hill's getting himself forward.
Did wonderfully well down that right-hand side, getting forward for Maitland last week, and that time he...
Just going on back on Daniel Miners, as I explained before, he's doing a great job in there, but I think both of them are playing either side. There's no one actually central picking the ball up. There's sort of one slightly left, one slightly right. And where it works well is when one of them's central picking the ball up. And sometimes when you play with the two deep midfielders, they tend to drift a little bit wider.
Matt Thompson now under pressure from Hamill and Pasquale. Pasquale thought got dragged down, but then McBrain with a lovely pass to Keanu Moore, who dodged around Thompson, then got brought down by Carl Thornton.
And Hamill,
fair enough.
Won't be able to get on the ball quick enough here, but Willie, he's straight over there, and he's going to have another look.
Just on that, they brought it back for the original foul. It looks like not the foul that Carl Thornton made.
So
Brent Hamill's licking his lips here.
Well, it's a tougher position for mine for Brent Hamill. Well, actually, he's brought it across a couple of steps now, so it's probably...
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was for the initial foul, so...
it's probably close to maybe just inside the line of that far upright. His other free kick was a few metres to the left of that, and he curled it into the top left corner.
This one's a lot further out than the other one as well, and so he's going to have to adjust the pace on the ball flight.
So Brent Hamill again comes in with a free kick. Gee, it was on target, and Matt Trott makes a good save.
Great effort. Yeah. But he's a fair distance out, so Trott had that covered. Heffernan got forward.
Here's Dean Heffernan. He was playing up front at the start of the season, but since then was moved back. Short up Maitland's backline as he tries to take on Brent Hamill. And Hamill goes up the line. Matt Thompson's there.
There's Thompson, positioned himself perfectly again.
No one else around him. Lumps it forward towards Ben Martin. And then Pasquale. His clearance straight up in the air, but McBreen is getting across and he gets above Blake Thompson. Thornton to Thompson again. Keanu Moore.
Oh, Thompson, that's experience and class.
It's a lovely ball to Heffernan, and Heffernan was looking for Ryan Clark, but Pat Wheeler was there to defuse the situation. And now over the far side of the ground, an Edgeworth throw.
Just quickly, Smudge was talking to my brother Animal this morning, and he said you gave him a little bit of a ribbing last week about not wanting to pay the $10 to get in the front gate. He said you're actually right.
Dylan Hulls across to Keanu Moore. It plays, not sure if he meant that, whether it was just a heavy touch towards the back post. McKellar with the header away.
Edgeworth, they're getting in good positions, but their final third just at the moment, just letting them down.
Bazzari to Pasquale now. Josh Evans, the captain. His ball, a little bit of a hospital pass for Miners as John McKellar came up and almost flattened him. And now Ryan Clark off down the left-hand edge of the ground. Got Aiden Bryce. He'll have him for pace, and he takes him on and gets around him. Turns Ryan Clark. That big second goal for Maitland last weekend, and Pat Wheeler got there just in the nick of time. So we tick down towards half-time. Just over a minute of regulation time. Ryan Clark with his third of the season last weekend. He trialled for Perth Glory and played for Inglewood United in the NPL and WA.
And that conversation I had with Matt Thompson during the week, Thomas said that he confirmed it was a cross, Smudge, that goal from Clark. He said absolute cross. He said anyone thinks anything different is fooling themselves.
Yeah, the only person who doesn't think it's a cross is Ryan Clark.
Well, yeah, I mean, he looked straight in the face and he's put his hand up like he'd... Yeah, but anyway, I'd take it. I'd take it too.
Here's Ryan Broadley. Got a bit out of that on Bar TV as well, that goal. The win definitely assisted Ryan Clark on that occasion. John McKellar.
Just here, Maitland's getting a bit more confidence on the ball, aren't they? They're starting to knock the ball around, which they didn't really do as much in the first 20 or so minutes. They're sort of more playing direct. So now they're starting to get a bit more confidence. Actually, Edgeworth's dropped a little bit deeper. Their defence has dropped deeper, creating a few little holes in the middle. So
I was just going to say that the field position, has generally shifted a little bit. What we had in the, the middle and front thirds for a good portion of the early part of the game, at least the part that I saw, Smudge. You're right. With Matt Thompson, we spoke about him before, getting on the ball a bit more, and that's for me, that's going to happen as the game settles. He doesn't want to get involved in the rubbish early or high tempo, but they're in good position and drew a good foul, and ball's going to be delivered into the box.
Here's Dean Heffernan with the free kick. 2 minutes of added time in the first half. Semi-final number 1. There's Hill chipping it over the top. Pat Wheeler. They were very compact in the middle of their Edgeworth, and that one didn't bother them. McBreen.
Oh, look at McBreen. He's back there.
Look at the
headers
power,
like a stopper.
The power on that header from Daniel McBreen. Now Heffernan to Thompson.
Mate, he's got a hard head. That's why he's got power for the headers.
Blake Thompson's clearance came off the side of his boot and over the sideline.
A nervous half second there for Blake there because, he doesn't want people running off a skewed shot off the side of his boot like almost through ball.
He has scored a couple of own goals this year, Blake Thompson. Probably one of his best against the Jaffers. He curled it off the side of his boot into the top left-hand corner. Here's Bazzari, again scheming down the left to Holtz. Back for McBreen on the half volley, and Carl Thornton. How often do we see it from him? Putting his body on the line. That's a huge play right on half-time.
And a great stride by McBreen on his less favoured foot.
Now Keanu Moore. Have they got one last chance in them before half-time? Hamill. Ryan Broadley knocks it away to safety. Evans ran Ben Martin off the ball. And now Hamill. Looked legal enough. As Hamill, low and hard. Matt Trott makes the save, and Blake Thompson clears it away. McKellar.
It looked like Dylan Holt's got a touch there. Great save by Matt Trott. Well done by Brent Hamill, one-on-one.
It's backs to the wall at the back end of this first half. I don't think there's much time left now. Glenn Pettican should be blowing his whistle for half-time any second now as we're up to 2 added minutes in the first half. Matt Trott was down for probably about that amount of time with the injury.
Did speak to Reece Thompson this morning, as I mentioned before. He said that he'd be keen to have a chat at half-time if we had the roving mic, but fortunately where we're sitting, probably won't have time to get up and get back to the sheds, so we'll just let him run with that one.
Well, there is half-time, so it's Edgeworth and Maitland all locked up at 1 apiece at the break. Edgeworth opened the scoring through Brent Hamill in the 14th minute. 14th minute with a scrumptious free kick at the top left-hand corner. And
really? Scrumptious.
Scrumptious it was.
Move over a bit.
So Brent Hamill opened the score in the 14th minute with a brilliant header, free kick into the top left corner. Then we saw the brilliant header from Ben Martin off a run from Ryan Clark down the left. The brains trust here of Maitland walking off. Matt Thompson, Dean Heffernan and Ryan Clark. You sense those three are the crucial ones if Maitland are to get through to their first grand final since 1981.
Yeah, so which coach would be happier? Damien Zane? They're ahead in the tie. That's 1-1, they're ahead in the tie. Obviously, he has to be happy. However, you know what? They've had more chances than Maitland. He would have been happy if he went, obviously, with a lead going into half-time. But Maitland must be happy. 1-1. You know what? The pressure's on Edgeworth in the second half because if Maitland pinch a goal, it's game on.
Exactly.
Last week, we saw where Maitland got this momentum I was talking about before, and they're going to go into half-time thinking that, we've scored goals last week against them, we scored another goal again today. I believe that they're the sort of side that can lift with some encouragement from scoring a goal, and I think that they're not done by any stretch this afternoon.
All right, we are going to have a quick break over half-time. We'll be back in 10 minutes. A reminder, this afternoon on Bar TV, we'll be back at 6:30. Broadmeadow Magic travel to Hamilton for the second leg there. So a quick break at half-time. It's Edgeworth 1, Maitland 1. Hello and welcome back for the second half here at Jack McLaughlin Oval. It's Edgeworth and Maitland all locked up at 1 apiece. Brent Hamill with a free kick in the 14th minute. Put it in the top left-hand corner with his right boot. And then just a few minutes later, Ben Martin put in a header. It was too good for Jim Fogarty after Ryan Clark cut down the left side of the box and whipped it in. So second half, it's going to be Maitland in their predominantly white kit there. Harry's House kit from right to left. Edgeworth from left to right in their home kit. Predominantly red.
It was a great first half, but this one's setting up to be a cracker as well. And, you know, this next 45 minutes is going to determine who's in the grand final. It's as simple as that. Players all know that.
Here's a ball over the top. Almost McBreen getting on the end of it.
And everyone loves to play in the grand final. So, you know, you will see everything on the line from the next 45.
Ben Martin. Got a little bit of a push from Josh Evans, but nothing doing there from the referee as Aidan Bryce.
Smudge has been down to see if he can chat to the coaches. Did you have any joy down there, Smudge?
Yeah, got a hold of both coaches. Damien Zane, obviously pleased with his first half, disappointed to concede, but also, you know, they just need to convert their chances. They've had quite a few chances to get that extra goal. And he said to the boys, you know what, if we don't concede this half, we're through. Reece Thompson, on the other hand, obviously very pleased with his first half. Nothing's going to change for them at the moment, but he said if it's still the same with about 20 to go, he's going to bring Cumberford on and then they're going to all-out attack.
We may even see Matt Trott come up for a corner, something like that, in the last 5 minutes or so. It's Maitland's search for a goal that would put them through to the grand final. That's if they don't concede. Matt Thompson.
Very deep Edgeworth here. They're sitting just on their 18-yard box.
It's pretty much an opposite. It's opposite at the moment to what it was in the first half. It was Maitland sitting back and Edgeworth doing all the attacking. But at the moment, it's Maitland coming forward.
You know what? It's the mindset as well. Edgeworth, if they don't concede, they're through.
Over the top to Ben Martin. Cuts it back.
I guess it's like we were talking about first half, Smudge. You know, that fine line that you were talking about, it is a fine line. You sit back and you defend it and then, you know, set yourself up to be attacked, or do you get yourself down in the other end, try and get better field position, maintain that shape you've been working on. Edgeworth worked very hard on their shape and play it down the other end, and you know, that's what they probably prefer to do. So, you know, it is a fine balance between whether you sit or attack.
McBreen, the free kick's going to go Maitland's way. I thought he just
stolen
it from Heffernan.
Sorry, the other thing I like about Maitland this week, last week they sat virtually on their 18-yard box virtually most of the game. This year they're sitting deeper, but they're 10, 15 yards outside their 18-yard box. So it's compacting the space, and it's really working for them. Is anyone else going to say anything?
No, I was just wondering whether it was this year or this week. But, you know, was it just a mind fart? Blurb? Sorry, Mum, if you're listening.
Matt Trott on the ball. Up over the halfway line. Josh Evans drops back for the header. What a star Josh Evans is for the Eagles. Yeah, played his juniors at Capricorn Coast. Capricorn Coast Eagles, actually, in Queensland. One game for the Brisbane Strikers in the 03-04 NSL. And he was the Queensland State League winners with Pine Rivers in 2005 was Josh Evans. So quite a CV. Is Edgeworth captain and centre-back is Matt Thompson with a touch over the top, misdirected. And it seems like Ryan Clark maybe playing up front with Ben Martin just for a moment there.
Yeah, that's what he's been doing all game, Bart. I don't know if you watched the first half, but he's sort of been playing. Yeah, he's playing more central, and Ryan Brawley's playing on the right side of midfield. So
yeah, I thought he was playing wider.
The game, mate.
I thought he was playing wider.
Don't let him do that to you, Bart. And have you mentioned his scarf yet?
Matt Trott towards his near side. Yeah, I was thinking Mr. Clark was playing a bit wider. Here he is
Great
now.
run by Ryan Clark.
Down the left side again. Still Clark. Comes to Fogarty across the face. Evans with a scuffed clearance.
You know what? He was on a tight angle, but he should have had a shot, I thought. He was only a few yards out.
It was a real opportunity, wasn't it? He just definitely had the opportunity to shoot, and he's doing the unselfish thing by looking to unload it. I'm with you, Smudge. He should have pulled the trigger there.
McKellar. He's the man for Maitland, and then if Matt Cumberford comes on, it's another one Edgeworth are going to have to look out for. Here's Brent Hamill. It's a push in the back from Liam Thornton.
You
That
know,
was
it's been-
always going to be a free kick.
Yeah, sorry, Bart. It's been a good start for Maitland in the first half. Edgeworth, to me, just look a tad nervous. Just, they're sitting a little bit deeper. The intensity, I think they're just here just to sort of hopefully just not concede at the moment.
I'm not so sure, to be honest, Smudge. I would like to think that they're going to be there attacking, and McBreen's making that intention very clear right there. I don't think they'll be content with a draw or not conceding any more goals. I think their intention will be to go out and score. As you say, you've got a massive game on Tuesday night, and then this is a big game, and you've got it all to play for the grand final. You've really got to just do one job at a time, don't you? Put your head on today. You get everything you've practiced, how hard they practice. I know they practice hard, and they're not doing drills and training. It's like practicing how they want to play. You can see that they set themselves up. They do that. Get today's job done, and then
Matt Thompson over the top for Ben Martin. It's wide. He's got Jai McKellar just behind him. Jai McKellar into the back of Pat Wheeler. That was a big moment for McKellar.
yeah, one game at a time, Smudge.
I agree. And like Damien Zane said, they only had one draw all year. Their mindset is to win. And every game they play, they're out to win. So I'm not saying their mindset is not to win, but at the moment they're just sitting a little bit deeper. They're not probably attacking. The ball movement's a little bit slower. So, but like Zane said, if they don't concede, they're through.
That'll be the interesting thing in the second match we've got this afternoon. What Broadmeadow do with that 3-1 lead? Whether they go to attack, if they score, they could put Hamilton out of it. But if they sit back and concede, they might get stuck in a rut, and Hamilton could put a few on them.
Exactly right. And I spoke to Bobby Newhoff this morning, and he said their mindset is positive. They want to start from fresh. It's 0-0, and they're out to win the game. They said if they go in with a mindset that they only need, like a 1-0 loss gets them through, well, then obviously they're going to sit deeper, and it's going to cause them problems. So,
yeah, you have to approach it that way too, because if you
Bazari towards McBrain and Blake Thompson on his knees with the header away. Matt Thompson.
If you go in
top.
Sorry, Bart. If you go in with anything but, if you go in with we're 2-0 up, then your natural mindset's got to be sit. So what Newmov is saying there is perfect, because you go out there with the intention just to win that game. You do that, and then you're a comfortable progress through to the grand final. However, Hamilton Olympic are going to attack. We know that.
Matt Thompson.
We know they're going to attack, and they'll be right on their game in front of their home crowd, and they love their ground, and why wouldn't they go out and try and win? And they know they've got to get a job done in at least sort of a couple of goals and before they finish the game, so they're not going to be sitting in at all.
Hey, just on that, Matt Thompson, how experienced. He's checked Dylan Holtz for the 1-2, and Maitland's won the ball.
Here's Clark taking on Josh Evans, and there you go. There's Josh Evans again at the back. You said the brilliance of Matt Thompson. Well, there's Josh Evans. Some hard-nosed defending from him. Here's Broadley. Now across to Heffernan. Looks up Heffernan and stabs it towards Ben Martin. He'll probably want to have the last 10 seconds over again there, Ben Martin. Bit of an air swing on the header, and now with Aidan Bryce to Miners. Towards McBrain, but Dean Heffernan just got in front of him. Martin back to McKellar. Wheeler with the header away. Nice touch from Aidan Bryce towards McBrain, but Heffernan's there. Dean Heffernan and Daniel McBrain. Good battle between those two. McBrain scored 3 goals in 3 games against Maitland this year. He scored in every game they've played against them. There wasn't 2 in one game, there was 1 in each game.
He's had some discussion with Reece Thompson this morning about Matt Comerford, and he said Camo wanted to start the game. He was absolutely gutted that he couldn't.
Ball through for Hamill, but Dean Heffernan slices that one. Is it going to go over for a corner? It is.
Yeah, it was on his unfavoured side.
Yeah, so Matthew Comerford wanted to start the game today, and if he's got a problem with his rib, as Reece had said, that he may have only lasted 10, 15, 20 minutes, not sure. So to bring him in, with 15, 20 minutes to go might not seem like a lot, but if he's in that much trouble, they could be playing with the liability if he gets an early knock.
We spoke a bit about this just at the start of the game, didn't we, Bart? But
here's the corner from Hamill towards the back post, Matt Trott.
But there is a risk. You
grab.
bring him on with 20 to go, and then he gets a knock, and he has to be subbed after 5 minutes. That's the risk. For me, I would have started him.
I'm taking Damien's view on that. I think
thanks, Bart.
I 100% agree with what you're preaching there. Exactly. I think you've got it spot on. I think you start them, and that way you only waste one sub if you have to bring them off rather than two. As Brent Hamill takes on Hill, and Hamill with a low shot. Matt Trott was there at the near post.
So TC, you might as well go home, mate.
Been told by the 12-year-old. No, there's two ways to look at it, but you're spot on. He's having a good giggle. There's two ways to look at it. You get him on, as you say, Smudge, and you play him out as long as he goes. As if he lasts half an hour, great, 40 minutes, a full game, you never know. But I guess the other side of this one is that when he does come on, he's going to be buzzing. The game will be a little bit flatter. And he's the guy that, because of his pace, his aggression, and the way that he naturally plays, he runs, draws people, and he's going to be just flying for the last 20 minutes. And he'll be a real problem for Edgeworth.
Mate, if you're here on time, we already said that, probably right at the start of the match. But, yeah, if he can get through that last 20 minutes, if he does come on with 20 minutes to go, he's going to be a real threat for Maitland.
Bizarri's ball headed away by Blake Thompson. For Maitland, they've actually only won one of their last 5 matches. That was against Western, 3-2. So just one win in their last 5 matches. And I've got another interesting stat regarding their results with Steve Piggott and without, based on last week's result. I'll come back to that when I've got a little bit of time. As Keanu Moore goes to Bizarri. Back to Moore again. And is it over for... It's going to just be the goal kick. But here's the stat. So with Steve Piggott, they played 12. They won 5, drew 4 and lost 3. So they won 42% of the matches. They were undefeated 75% of the time. Without Steve Piggott, 7 matches, 3 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. Just marginally better in terms of their winning record, 43%, and marginally worse in their undefeated record at 71%. So...
But it comes down to where you are in the competition. You know what? They were already in the semis with about 2 or 3 games to go, so I know they'll rest them players towards the end. So if you come third, you come fourth, doesn't really matter.
And the other thing is,
Bizarri whips it in. Blake Thompson again getting down and making a good save.
Your work's really starting for the following year in this league in August, July, August for the following year, and the appointment of Piggott, he would have done a lot of work through the off season, a lot of work through the early pre-season as well to get the guys with what we're seeing today, so it's not just all right, he's gone, so it's something's different. They've been working on everything.
Dylan Hulse, another low and hard shot, almost deflected away to Bizarri, and it's over for another Eagles throw. He's coaching at Western again next year. Is Steve Piggott? So you're just taking down my stat there. Put a lot of hard work into that, and here's Keanu Moore with the block shot. Away towards Liam Thornton. Now Aiden Bryson. Thornton puts it over for a corner kick.
Just on Steve Piggott and Reece Thompson. Reece Thompson will be the first one to say that Steve Piggott's done all the hard yards. Get the guys fit, get the guys structured at the start of the year. So Steve Piggott's been a massiив influence on this Maitland side.
Just like a certain coach last year for Maitland. He was a huge influence in 2015.
You know what I will say about Reece is what he's very, very good at is getting the team and the morale and the guys together.
Here's Bizarri whipping it in. Josh Evans was flying towards the middle of the box.
He was a great ball in.
And now Bryce. Yeah, just on that, Reece Thompson's been coaching for the last 2 seasons. He's come in after they've had a coach that has left and has put a structure in place. So I think it's good for Reece to be able to come in there and do his thing. Yeah,
I think so too. He knows what he's doing, Reece. He's all over it. He's a great student of the game, and he really loves being around the guys. They're his best mates.
Here's a run from Clark. Ryan Clark just over the bar. Groans from the home crowd.
He's been good today, Ryan Clark. He's dangerous when he gets on that steam train of his.
And I know with Reece, apart from getting the guys, and we talk about teams and momentums or whatever, he's a big part of that because he rallies them really well on and off the park. And they do a lot of things socially together. They have a good time, and he's with every run, tackle, pass. He's right in this game as well. So sure, but he's had some foundation. But when he's had to take over, he's done a good job in both times.
Yeah, agree totally, TC.
Kept them up last year as well. They were close to the relegation spot, which in the end was South Cardiff that went down. They did well at the back end of the season. Some good results against some of the top sides.
Yeah, they sure did.
Here's Pasquale.
That's better from Edgeworth.
Across to Hamill. He's got Liam Thornton just jockeying him, and Hamill, he gets across, but it was just a bit heavy. Run over towards the far sideline. And Zach Hill keeps it into Broadley. Nice ball from him. And Broadley's pass deflects off Pasquale. And now Aiden Bryce. Strong work from him. Played rugby league until under 12's Aiden Bryce, but that pass just a bit heavy for Brent Hamill. His juniors at Swansea.
Yeah, we mentioned Aiden Bryce. He's been a standout for Edgeworth this year. He's played centre back and he's played right full back. He's been a great acquisition for Damien Zane.
17 matches last season, 4 goals, just the 1 goal this season from Aiden Bryce, and one of those goals last season, probably one of the best of the season against Lambton. Right-footed volley was an outstanding strike.
For Bryce to be able to play in that position, it allows Hamill to get forward into his favoured sort of high right position where he loves to play. And for me, through the same period last year, I thought personally he was outstanding. He was really good in the grand final. He was very strong through the semis, and I think that he's had a similar run up to this year as well, including FFA Cup.
More 3 out here.
Nice touch there for Holtz, but he just ran into a little bit of trouble with Dean Heffernan coming across. Back to Holtz again.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see Pasquale more on the ball, actually.
Keanu Moore just couldn't get on the end of it, and Jai McKellar, the clearance away. Here's Ryan Clark again. Takes on Pasquale, who takes him down, and Pasquale will go into the book, and Ryan Clark gives him a little shove. Had a few run-ins last weekend as well, did Pasquale and Clark.
Referee Peterkin looks like he's dropped something out of his pocket there. Smudge.
Is that the red card? Is it? It might be, unless it's his whistle. It
looks orange. Might be a hair clip. Might be. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, unsure. But just on Peterkin, you were actually late again today, TC. So he had a baby boy 2 months ago called Cooper.
Did he?
Yeah. So
nice. One of the reasons I was late, I was picking up your good mates Glenn Chapman and Graham Law. Smudge.
Oh, I never heard of him.
And Graham Law, he'll be joining us next week on Bar TV in the 19s and 22s grand final. So looking forward to that.
We just hope the audience can understand Graham Law with his bit of twang.
Here's Zach Hill into the back of Keanu Moore. Yeah, next weekend, the under-19s grand final. That'll be me, Chris Turner and Graham Law. The 22s will be Damien Smith, Daniel Herrero and Graham Law. And then us three will be in for the grand final. We'll wait and see who will be there next week. Maitland right in this, up to their eyeballs in this contest, as here is Bryce down the line towards Keanu Moore. Carl Thornton with the boot in. Liam Thornton, his brother, towards Matt Thompson. And now McBreen with the interception. Gets away from Thompson. He's coming at him. He's nipping at his heels now. He plays the ball through to Keanu Moore. Keanu Moore, he's tight on the angle. He cuts it back, and Liam Thornton over for another corner kick. He was just a little bit tight on that angle, Keanu Moore, to get a shot on.
See the experience of McBreen. As soon as he got the ball, he ran straight across Matt Thompson's path. That was just beautiful. And just beautifully weighted ball for Keanu Moore, and they were unlucky not to score.
Yeah, totally agree with that. He just keeps opening opportunities for them. And if I was Western Sydney Wanderers, you keep a close eye on him, because he's just those little turns, the touches, the drop-offs, the balls
it's
he plays.
It's his awareness, isn't it?
It is. His game's all there.
It's his awareness and his haircut.
His last team before coming to Edgeworth, Daniel McBreen, was South China. Here is McBreen with a header, and I think it's cleared off the line. The assistant referee is James Cleal, and that, from his perspective, didn't cross the line and over for a goal kick. I wonder how he's recovered from the berating he copped from Rob Virgili on the sideline last week.
Just on Rob Virgili, we're hoping to get an interview with him during the first half of the Olympic versus Magic match later on this afternoon. However, he's suspended, so he has to be 70 metres away from the dressing room, and also he will be he's not allowed to talk to the media. So unfortunately, we can't get an interview.
It's interesting, the 70 metres. It's very specific, 70 metres. Here's Brent Hamill playing it through to Keanu Moore. Just got caught in the legs of Heffernan, and then Carl Thornton diving in. The home fans thought there was a free kick on offer, but referee Peterkin waves it away, and then Dean Heffernan's touch. A little heavy, but he was able to regather.
Great touch by Ryan Clark on the sideline. Yeah, just on Rob Virgili, I'll talk more about him in this afternoon's match, but just on the grand final next week. So far, Western's through to the 19s, and Broadmeadow Magic's through to the 22s on today's results.
Yeah, Broadmeadow with a 3-0 win after they went down 2-0 at Maitland last week to Western, and in the 19s. It was a 1-1 draw, and as the Jets youth were were knocked over. Just, Damien, the 19s, just refresh me who went through there. Western went through. It was a 1-1 draw. They won 1-0 against the Emerging Jets last week. That was right. So Blake Thompson up towards Ben Martin. Controlled nicely. Jai McKellar with a touch into Aiden Bryce. He had a good chance probably about 10 minutes ago, Jai McKellar, to put Maitland in the lead. But here's McBreen.
The two veterans.
1-on-1 with Heffernan. Shoulder to shoulder. McBreen back towards Bryce with a header. And he puts it wide, Aiden Bryce. Gee, I thought they was sailing towards the top right corner.
What a wonderful opportunity that was, Smudge. And you look at the strength of McBreen, who's getting some clap from the crowd here. He's gone straight shoulder to shoulder and just completely out-muscled his opponent, Heffernan.
Two veterans, two old teammates. That was great to watch.
And the delivery, the composure of the delivery. We were speaking about McBreen before, and you were talking about his haircut, but I can tell you what, he can deliver and put it on a button, didn't he?
It's a
and Aiden Bryce was very unlucky with the header.
Perfect ball. Aiden Bryce just putting his chance at a second goal for season 2016 wide. Here's Holtz into Carl Thornton. Still Dylan Holtz down the far side. Go for a run. He's got McBreen on the inside. He tried to find him, but Matt Thompson just slowed down the path of the ball so it couldn't get to him. And the free kick goes Maitland's way as Pasquale and Broadley shoulder to shoulder. And Pasquale did it illegally, apparently.
But just on the game, it's really starting to open up now. So, which is very exciting for us, but probably not too exciting for the coaches, I think.
They would be both very nervous. I always get nervous when it's a match that means a lot. I haven't quite got nervous yet, but in about 20 minutes I think I will if it's the same scoreline.
And as a coach, if the game opens up, you do get very nervous because, sometimes you can't control it. So, you want to just get back to your defensive structures and really close the game.
Here's Dylan Holtz. He's got McBreen there, Heffernan with the header away, and now McKellar. What did you two do to calm your nerves sitting there on the bench as Bryce and McKellar bump into each other and go down?
Well, Damien had a water bottle, and everyone thought it was water in it. You see him just going at the water all the time?
As Broadley up and over the top. What did you used to do, CT?
Walk the sidelines, I think. He used to walk the sidelines.
It's just one of those things. I mean, different days you're doing different things, but I mean, you're absolutely right, Smudge. Your heart rate's up. You're right so far in the game. You work that hard all year, and in these sorts of moments.
Brent Hamill towards McBreen, gets the boot in, and trots there.
The coaches just take every single little thing, every blade of grass, so they know about it. They just know every run and tackle, and they play every single play with their players. They just go through a whole range of emotion, and it starts, the week leading up to the game and then through the game and then, not till you go home. It takes you and I, Smudge.
Here's Brent Hamill with some space on this near side. A lovely ball from Dylan Holtz. He's got Dean Heffernan in front of him on his left, and it was too slow for Matt Trott towards his near post. Just wanted to mention no substitutions yet as we tick towards the halfway mark of the second half.
Yeah, and Bart, you probably wouldn't know this, but it wouldn't be uncommon for Damien and I to have a Sunday night debrief over the phone, just, what happened to you today, and he'd tell me and vice versa, and it's just a good way of, unloading all of that energy. And maybe some people, like these coaches on the sideline today, they take so much into the day.
Yeah, and you know what? It's the adrenaline after the game. Sometimes it takes a while just to calm down, and it's really hard to sleep after a game, win or loss, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
I know Bolo Red doesn't go Australia.
I know, as you've always said, it takes you till Tuesday to get over it, and I totally agree.
Here's Bizarre.
That's a win and a loss.
Back to Holtz, and now Pasquale. Blake Thompson goes straight up in the air. Well, even fans, they can take a while to recover as well. Dylan Holtz. Remember, when I was younger, it took me a while to get over a Knights loss back in the days. Little touch on towards Keanu Moore. Not anymore when they lose every week, but Liam Thornton. And now a ball from Pat Wheeler goes straight to Matt Thompson, who finds Zach Hill with some space on the far side. Up over halfway, Zach Hill. Towards the middle, found Jai McKellar, and Jai McKellar pulls the trigger and over the bar.
We see Thompson's experience there. He had the opportunity to play Broadly in for, get him on quickly, but he thought he'd let the field position catch up, and Zach Hill was a good option.
We are going to see a change now. Aidan Gardner will be coming on for Keanu Moore. It looks to be. Brent Hamill's trying to confuse us.
Matthew Comerford's also out of his chair. He's looking very toey to get on.
Just on Moore Hill's crook last week. That's why he's on the bench. And he's had a good game today.
Jordan
But
Elphick
Aiden Gardner coming on. He's quite an elusive player, so...
scored a big goal, Aiden Gardner, against the Jets. They were down 2-1. Scored a goal in about the 80th minute to lock it up at 2-2 on that occasion. He's grabbed 3 this year, Aiden Gardner. It looks like Jordan Elphick is going to come on for Maitland. Potentially, I'm thinking probably Jai McKellar, but here's Ryan Clark with some space. This will send some shivers down the spine of Edgeworth fans. Him running, and he shoots, but Josh Evans with the touch to Aiden Bryce, who just hoofs it down towards McBreen. That time Heffernan got in front of his man, and his pass wasn't very heavy, and Matt Trott clears it up over halfway to Bryce, who cleared the danger a moment ago for the Eagles. Still Aiden Bryce. Space in front of him. McBreen, lovely touch back to Bryce. Can he have the shot this time, Bryce? Well defended by Blake Thompson.
That was great play between McBreen and Aiden Bryce. Aiden Bryce getting himself forward. You know what? I probably, if he had his time again, he'd probably take it a few seconds earlier when the space was opened up for him.
He's had some big chances in this match, Aiden Bryce. The header and then that shot. Well defended on that occasion by Maitland. They scrambled well. Blake Thompson and Zach Hill getting across, and Dom Bazari on his left boot in front of the Edgeworth players warming up down there.
And Matt Thompson's just ordered the substitution to wait until after the corner is taken.
Here it is, Bazari. Well headed away by Zach Hill. Pasquale tries his luck again and slices that one wide.
So it'll be McKellar to come off.
So Moriyasu on the bench, McLaughlin. So it is Jai McKellar that is coming off.
So this is like for like.
Jordan Elphick, as we mentioned last week, 3 ACL repairs on the one leg. He's the club captain of Maitland and a stalwart.
Just hearing Reece Thompson there. Obviously, they're going to make a sub in 3 minutes, he's saying. So I think there's going to be a structural change as well when Cumberford comes on.
I did hear him yell that. I thought that was Reece Thompson yelling that out. Do you think there was any reason that he did yell it so loudly that we could hear and Damien Zane obviously could below?
Yeah, Dean Heffernan asked what we're doing, and he said, 3 minutes. So what I envisage, obviously they're chasing the game. I think they're going to go 3 at the back and bring Cumberford on. My pick, Blake Thompson off it.
We tick towards the 27-minute mark, so it's about 18 minutes. Well, will be 18 minutes to go in just a sec, so maybe the final 15. That's the plan from Reece Thompson.
If he does go 3 at the back, he's going to need pace.
Here's Aiden Gardner. Well, Edgeworth, if they can score one, they won't put it to bed, but they'll go a long way to doing that. Here's Thompson to Elphick.
Yeah, sorry, Bart. I was going to say, if they do go 3 at the back, if they do, you need three quick guys at the back. And for mine, probably Blake Thompson has had a great game today. Me personally, I'll probably take him for the simple fact due to pace. But he's been superb today.
Hey, he'll put the cover on for you all day. He'll put himself in good position. But if you are going to go through the back, I think you're right, Smudge. He's the one that you might want to leave out.
But full credit to Maitland. 2 weekends, I don't think anyone expected it to be this close. And they have put on a very, very big fight based on their positions on the ladder. Here's Thompson. Over to Martin. Now to Matt Thompson, who just stepped on the ball and tripped over Matt Thompson.
I think he's hurt his knee, you know.
Yeah, I thought he did too. Maybe his ankle as well. Liam Thornton. Now back to Heffernan.
Yeah, he's in a bit of pain. He fell really awkwardly on the ball, didn't he?
This is not good news for Maitland.
And Matt Thompson saying this could be, well...
Okay, so here's an interesting scenario. This is, and I'll run this one by you, Smudge. As a coach, you've got something in your mind that you were going to do just 1 minute ago, and in fact, 20 seconds ago. Now, your mind's going in overtime. What am I going to do? How's this going to change? If he comes off, which is a big chance here, what are you going to do? And is that a thought, or what process did you follow in that scenario? Because it would have happened to you a lot.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. But the thing is, you know what? Today's all about the result. There's 15 minutes to go. I think they have to score. But what do? You know what? I'd probably still go with the same mindset.
I just want to know from both of you, if I said to you at the start of these semi-finals last weekend, it'd be 3-3 with 15 minutes to go at Edgeworth, would have you expected that?
Well, I think CT would have, because CT said to me, Maitland's a dark horse. Go, CT.
Go on.
There you go.
I did see them as very dangerous, only because I know the FFA Cup's coming up. They've got some experienced players in the group. However, you can't underestimate what Edgeworth have done as a club. They've been very, very good last year under Zane. He's backed it up and done the same again this year, if not better. And you can't underestimate that. So look, I have thought that Maitland have been the dark horse, but this is a massive blow for them right now, like a real big blow.
Now, it looks, from what actually happened, it looked to be an ankle.
I'm running with a knee.
A knee? Are you thinking ACL potentially?
I don't know. The way that his foot hit the top of the ball, and then we don't have the benefit of the replay, but it did certainly look like he...
You know what? As he's warming up, he's starting to put more pressure through his legs, so I don't think ACL. Definitely not.
We did say last weekend him have an injury as Matt Comerford goes onto the ground, but we did say last weekend he got injured probably about the same time and ran it off, but on that occasion it was a shake of the head from Thompson.
So just on this, they are going through at the back. You can see Heffernan organise his back line. Blake Thompson's gone to the right-hand side. Heffernan through the centre, and Liam Thornton obviously on the left-hand side. So with that, not too much pace at the back for Maitland. So it could open them up a little bit. But you know what? It's worth the risk with 30 minutes to go. They need to score.
So what are your thoughts on who is going to go into that role Matt Thompson plays?
It'll be Ralphie Ryan Broadley. He's the one that's going to go in there, and he's a guy that, he sort of sits quietly and gets the job done. He rolls the ball around really well. His vision and understanding of players and where they are is just, for me, it's top shelf.
Broadley gets taken down by Aidan Gardner, and the free kick goes Maitland's way.
Now the crowd's getting involved, aren't they?
I personally think Ryan Broadley is one of the most underestimated players in this competition. I've worked with him closely, Smudge, and last year, and can see the amount of times that he gets on the ball and he's involved in the game. He'll just jump straight in that role that Matt Thompson was filling and keep on, keep on keeping on.
The key word you said then was involvement. He's involved in everything.
Sure is. And he loves it too, and he's just busy all of the time, and he's a good worker, and not only that, he's really well liked by his teammates.
Here's the free kick from Matt Comerford. Towards the back post, Jim Fogarty makes a good grab there. I was just going to mention Matt Thompson, Ryan Broadley, was put down by Reece Thompson as Maitland's best last year. He's the vice-captain for the Magpies. As Matt Comerford, he scored 4 goals last year. He scored 5 this year. He's got a big role to play in the final 13 and a bit minutes, I should say. Here's McLaughlin.
The hardest part about coming on with 12, 30 minutes to go, it takes you like 5 or so minutes to get warmed up and into the pace of the game. So
it was a late substitution for Matt Comerford. Here's Heffernan. Looking along up towards Martin. And now Aidan Bryce. So incredibly, Edgeworth heading towards a 4th semi-final draw under Damien Zane as it stands at the moment. It was 3-all and 0-all versus Magic last year. It's 2-all last week and 1-all this week. They only drew 1 match in the regular season last year, 1 this year.
Just on playing 3 at the back, you need to have width, nice high width.
Here's Clark with the touch towards Elphick. Bazari got up and Evans just clears it. It doesn't go anywhere, and Comerford gets up and takes down Pasquale and gives away the free kick.
And at the moment, Maitland, they're just a bit narrow for my liking. When you have 3 at the back, you need to have 2, a wide and a right and left. Really stretched Edgeworth's defensive midfield.
Their last grand final, Maitland, was back in 1981. They lost to Highfields Azuri 2-1 on that occasion. Their only grand final win, so they've been their only grand final win. They've been in the grand final on 2 occasions. It was in 1980. They beat Highfields Azuri 5-1 on that occasion. So it's a 35-year wait for Maitland if they are able to grab a goal and go through to the grand final. At the moment, it's Edgeworth going through. Pasquale back to Wheeler. And the last side to do the double-double, minor and major premiership, was Highfields Azuri in 1993, 1994. So 2 huge stats on the line for Edgeworth to get through to the grand final. They still have to win it. As here is Ben Martin charging after it. Josh Evans is there. And he puts it over for a Maitland throw.
What are your thoughts on the result, TC? There's 10 to go.
Look,
give me a call.
I still think there's another goal in it, and I think it'd probably come, if I'm going to call it now, I think it's going to come from Edgeworth.
Liam Thornton.
What do you think, Smudge?
Yeah, I think that's a fair call. I think, for my liking, I think Edgeworth's going to get Maitland on the break, but you never know.
No, you don't.
Here's Ryan Clark, unable to keep that one in.
Just while we've got half a minute, we're off to the New FM Grand Final tomorrow.
Yes, here at Jack McLaughlin Oval, Bell Swans against Walls End.
And we're looking for the same sort of hospitality that Millsy's shown us again today, and we'll appreciate that, Millsy. Thanks for the water, by the way. It is going to be a good game. I spoke to Dave Hodgson Smudge yesterday, and he was very, very excited about the game. In fact, he's looking forward to having a chat to us. Win, lose, or drawing at half time. He wants to have a chat, so I'm looking forward to that.
He's going to come up the stairs, is he, Dave Hodgson, I should say, up here at Jack McLaughlin Oval.
Just on that substitution, they've taken Blake Thompson off. They know having 3 at the back, they need pace back there. It looks like they've moved Zach Hill back there as well in place of him. So obviously they don't want to get caught on the break because you can get exposed playing 3 at the back.
Heffernan across the back to Trott.
And just on Maitland, this is a lot better. Ryan Clark's nice and wide. Cumberford's nice and wide, trying to spread Edgeworth's defence.
Sam Rossi's on, the number 18. He's previously played for Cessnock Hornets. Developing player for Maitland. Brought on in the biggest moment for them in their recent history. As this one sliced over the sideline for a Maitland throw.
And Elphick and Broadley were staying reasonably central as well, so they're in good position as well, Smudge.
Here's Wheeler. Miners with the header. To Dylan Hulse with a touch on towards Gardner, but the experience of Dean Heffernan.
He's been great today, Dean Heffernan. He's been a real class act.
And I think putting him at the back for Maitland was probably one of the best moves they've made this season. He was playing up front when they lacked a target man. He was sent off a couple of times. Since he's gone to the back, he has been brilliant. And that's his role. That's his position, Dean Heffernan at the back. It's where he played for the majority of his A-League career. And for Maitland over the last 2 weeks, when the pressure's been on, he's responded to it. Zach Hill.
So now playing 3 at the back. They're getting the extra man in midfield, Maitland.
Here's Elphick into Miners. Miners comes away with it. McLaughlin.
Benny Martin was on then, if he had his time again.
McLaughlin also coming onto the ground for Edgeworth as he takes on Carl Thornton. He started last weekend, but he was very lethargic. He was affected by that virus that went through the Eagles camp.
Just quickly, while the ball's out, back to the New FM, we've got some interesting news just as of what I believe today. Graham Law's going to be coaching Cooks Hill next year.
Really?
Yep, just found that one out in the car on the way over.
And that is, I don't think there is any New FM next year, actually. We've got to find out. I think Northern are having a meeting in regards to the second-tier competition in the next few weeks, so keep you posted on what happens
McBrain.
there. As McBrain goes down now. So it was Matt Thompson a minute ago. McBrain just clutching at his ankle as Ryan Clark speeds down this left side again. He's got Ben Martin with him. He takes on Bryce. Gee, that's a big, strong challenge from Aiden Bryce, who believes he should have won the throw. He's missed a couple of chances, Aiden Bryce, but gee, he's been good on the right, and we've got to come up with the man of the match again. He wouldn't be too far off. If he had to put one of those in, I think he'd probably be there. Here's Dean Heffernan, given some space. He decides to have a long-range shot, which Pat Wheeler got in front of. Dylan Hulse into the final 8 minutes now. Daniel McBrain is all right for the Eagles. The ball played long for him. He is just grimacing, McBrain. Hopefully he's all right. They'll need him on Tuesday night. Here's Wheeler. That's a big header from Pasquale. And now McBrain. He's got McLaughlin unmarked on the left. Thought there was a high foot. Here's Heffernan over the top. That's straight to Jim Fogarty in goals.
Now, if I was Edgeworth, I'll just get on the ball, knock it around, use the time up, really soak up the last 5 minutes.
7 minutes left in the match.
Just keep the ball at the back, and once Maitland put pressure on you, then lump it long, squeeze them down the other side.
Yeah, for sure. End. Totally agree with that. Whereas Maitland, look at them, they're buzzing around, they're trying to get the ball back, and you can frustrate them a little bit by just keeping a hold of the ball, Edgeworth.
Exactly.
There's Bryce, plays it into the legs of Sam Rossi. And now Liam Thornton. He knows how to score here at Jack McLaughlin Oval. He's done so this year. The free kick goes Maitland's way. The crowd getting right into it.
We've just been talking about man of the matches, and there's many good players out there today. Daniel McBrain has been everywhere.
Ryan Clark was definitely one.
And we were just saying that. For me, Ryan Clark, Dean Heffernan's been great for Maitland, but Ryan Clark, for me, he's been a menace for Edgeworth today.
Here's Dean Heffernan. So we gave it to Zach Hill last week in the draw. Is it going to go to another Maitland play? If we are level, I'm not saying it's going to be a draw. anything could happen in the last 6 minutes. Jim Fogarty.
So just really quickly again, so Graham Law at Cooks Hill with whatever's going to happen.
Have you finished that story yet?
No, I haven't. And he's down there with Glenn Chapman that we also picked up.
This is Carl Thornton getting in there, and Pizzari goes down. Now this didn't look good because I thought he may have landed on his shoulder. He got cleaned up, and I hope it's not. Well, I thought a collarbone immediately as he went over. I thought that's not going to be good for his collarbone.
I think he's winded a little bit, I think. It was a strong challenge by Carl Thornton.
So Graham Law's downstairs as we speak, trying to lubricate Glenn Chapman into the coaching job next year. When I say that, I think he's giving him a couple of beers to try and persuade him.
So where's Glenn Chapman going to coach with Graham Law at?
Well, that's what
Cooks Hill?
Graham Law is. So he's convinced me to pick him up and then pick Glenn Chapman up. And then that's what they're talking about in the car on the way over.
There you go. As we mentioned, Graham Law will be on hand next weekend.
Yeah, do we need an interpreter for Graham Law next week?
Well, that's what I was thinking as well. Now, this is we'll come back to Graham Law, but Don Bazzari is in a lot of trouble here, and it's his left arm, which doesn't look fantastic for him. But just coming back, Graham Law, yes, next week he'll be calling with us for the 19s and the 22s grand final.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be
trying to
fun.
understand him.
Oh, yeah. So the big advantage he's got is that if he gets the names wrong, no one's going to know anyway.
Exactly.
How's your Scottish accent, Smudge?
Yeah, I got nothing. Just on Don Bazzari, he's had another strong game again today. Looks like he's winded with that challenge from Carl Thornton. But you know what? Edgeworth will be happy with this. They're soaking up. I know that the clock stopped, but you know what? It just gives all their players a breath. You know, all they need is another 5 or 6 minutes of hard intensity, closing down, and they're through.
But Maitland do have the throw here. Now, I'm just trying to remember who.
Yeah, Edgeworth kicked it out because he was injured. So, you know what a good thing is to do? If I was Matt Comfort, I'd throw up the Ryan Clark. And if I was Ryan Clark, I'd just knock it back to James Fogarty, but going towards goal. Because you never know. You could get a bobble. What do you think, TC?
Or just don't give it to him. Let the game on.
Yeah, it'll be game on. It'll be big all in brawl.
Yeah.
No, Matt Comerford decides to throw it to McLaughlin.
Yeah, that's well done by Maitland. But I've always done that. I've always told the players, just knock it back to the goalkeeper. Make sure it's going towards the goal butt because you never know. It could get a bobble.
Sneaky coach.
He's always up.
We now know how Broadmeadow won so many titles. Back.
It's all about winning, Bart. All about winning.
Here's Comerford. Oh, great challenge from Aidan Gardner. But Comerford gets it back as Gardner was on the ground. Comerford has a long-range shot. Fogarty with a touch wide. Well, what a save from Jim Fogarty, and what a moment for him.
And
look, terrific strike from Comerford. It was swinging that touch that Fogarty got onto that. Was absolutely crucial, Smudge.
Did you see all the Edgeworth players go straight over the Fogarty and give him a clap?
Yep.
Is that the moment of the semi-final, or is there another twist? But Matt Comerford, he was the missing piece to the puzzle. He missed last week. He's only just come on. The final 15 minutes.
Just on this smart move by Heaven, he's called Elphick out. He's brought 2 Edgeworth players out, so there's less players in the box.
Sam Rossi's at the back. He's unmarked. Edgeworth waiting for them to come into the box. You've got Hill, Thornton, Carl Thornton, Ryan Clark, Liam Thornton too. There's a little touch towards the back post. Maitland almost putting it over the line, and somehow it's cleared over for a throw.
Some nervous moments for Edgeworth at the moment.
Coming up to the 43rd minute. Still time in this for Maitland.
As there's Bryce slicing it over the sideline.
We've got Warren Mills next to him. He's nearly chewing his fingers off.
As here is Liam Thornton with the throw. The nerves are setting in for everyone, even up here in the commentary box. Liam Thornton takes on Holtz. Holtz goes down. Thornton towards the back post. Rossi with a header. Jim Fogarty again. Outstanding performance from Jim Fogarty in the last 2 minutes.
That's a great jump and a good header from Jordan Elphick there. He rose and he had a really good header on that, and then again Fogarty.
McLaughlin with the ball to Gardner now. Can Edgeworth seal it? They almost conceded, cleared off the line, and now a chance to go down the other end. But Maitland dropping back very nicely. It's a long time. It's been 35 years for the Miners with the ball. Gardner with a shot, and he puts it wide. That would have been game, set, and match to the Eagles.
Great ball by Miners. Pick out Gardner. That was superb.
Sure was. I think everyone was expected to come to the right-hand side as he sliced it onto his left.
What a moment.
Flag stayed down.
What a moment for the 19-year-old Aidan Gardner. Well, I'll tell you what. If Magic and Hamilton can live up to the drama we've seen here, we're going to have two awesome semi-finals. Here's McBrain, can't get in front of Hill. Miners up in the air. Heffernan. Damien Zane's been barking orders at his troops for the last 3 minutes or so. Miners to Gardner. He goes to Holtz. McBrain was unmarked, but Gardner still goes on. Back towards Holtz. Can Rossi get in there? Holtz on the ball. Looking for another goal against Maitland. Goes back to Miners. Still Daniel Miners on the ball.
We just need to keep it here, Edgeworth. Just need to keep it.
Here's Holtz. Can he swing one in? It's into Rossi. It's over for a corner. As we tick towards stoppage time. We are in stoppage time now, just inside. We'll find out what the added time is. Trent Nash has said minimum of 4 minutes of added time. So 4 minutes it will be. 4 minutes of drama remains at Jack McLaughlin Oval for the second year in a row. It's level when Edgeworth play in the semi-finals. And it's level at 3 apiece.
But I love semi-final stuff.
Gee, the drama. Here's Miners whipping it in. They decide not to play for the corner. Holtz was saying to Daniel Miners, play for the corner, and Miners whipped it in. It was a bit of inexperience there from Miners as Liam Thornton gets up and wins the header. Bazari up and over the top to McBrain. Lovely touchback to Miners. Composed as ever, Daniel McBrain. As Miners chips one over the top to Gardner, who's just offside. And we are a minute down. There's 3 minutes left. What an afternoon. What a 2 afternoons of football we have seen from these two sides.
Like I said to you before, before CT got here, because he was running late, I went for a run at 6 o'clock, and I was pumped for today.
Here's Miners, a ball through for McBrain. And Damien, you're not even coaching and you're pumped. And that just shows you how much we love and you love semi-finals football. Here's Dean Heffernan. Getting away from McBrain. Miners, that's a big interception from him. And McBrain runs straight towards the corner. Back for Miners. He ran away from the corner a moment ago. He does so again. Back to Holtz. Almost hit the referee, Pederkin. Still Holtz trying to get into the box. He goes down, but under very limited contact. And then he slices it wide too, and a little bit of...
Just looking at McBrain, he's not moving freely. He's got a pretty big limp. And if this turns into something more serious, as when the game finishes, you'd hate. I think the whole Newcastle footballing community would hate for him to not be there on Tuesday night.
Oh, exactly. But if you were watching the game, TC, Heffernan made a challenge on him about 15 minutes ago, and then he's hurt his foot. So hopefully he's right for Tuesday night.
And Moriyasu is on. Gee, what a late substitution that is from Damien Zane to bring Moriyasu on. He's kept him on the bench. And he's brought him on with 2 minutes to go. Probably saving him for Tuesday night, you'd expect. As Matt Trott goes long. Josh Evans with the header. Infallible today. Josh Evans. Here's Moriyasu. He is onside. Kigo Moriyasu. Will it be back-to-back grand finals for Edgeworth? You bet it will, because Kigo Moriyasu grabs his 18th of the season. And the Eagles go ahead in the dying embers in stoppage time at Jack McLaughlin.
Oh, what a wonderful substitution from Zane. He brings him straight on, gets him into the clear. Instantly, he had pace to burn, and you could see him a long, long way out shaping that one to put it away, and he did it absolutely perfectly, Smudge.
Yeah, you know what? Credit to Maitland. They've been superb today, especially this second half. But we always said when they went through at the back, there's always a risk that they're going to get caught on the break. So full credit to Maitland, but full credit to Moriyasu, who's come on, and Damien Zane.
Ben Martin, but don't write Maitland off just yet, because Ryan Clark's herring down on Fogarty. And Fogarty lays on the ball for a little bit. We've got less than a minute to go. Drama again as Fogarty tries to find us up here in the commentary box. He almost does. It's going to be a Maitland throw. And the ball all of a sudden has gone missing.
You know what? Damien Zane and his substitutions this year have been right on the money. But like we called it earlier, he said there was a risk for Maitland going through at the back.
Here's Gardner. Well, surely they couldn't grab another one. It would be unfair on Maitland if Edgeworth were to do that. They've been better than that. Here is McLaughlin. Moriyasu copped a little shove from Dean Heffernan. As Maitland heading out, if they aren't able to grab a goal, and you sense time is up now, maybe a little bit added for that celebration from Moriasu's goal. They'll keep hopes alive of the first double-double, minor and major premiership in consecutive years since 93-94. Matt Comerford, what a moment he had before. Shot saved by Jim Fogarty, tipped around the bar as Holtz, a chip over the top. Gardner trying to put the icing on the cake. He's had some moments, Aiden Gardner, and he
loved
couldn't.
that one back, wouldn't he?
Another chance for Edgeworth. Gee, they've had some good ones. Aiden Gardner's had a couple. Aiden Bryce, the two Aidens have had some awesome chances. But Maitland, they play on through Comerford. Takes on McLaughlin, who takes him down. Is that going to be a card? Glenn Pettican looked to go to his pocket. We're now into 5 minutes of stoppage time. So you sense any second now, we will... the whistle will be blown, but this will be the final chance for Maitland.
Yeah, this is Maitland's last chance.
Surely not. Dean Heffernan. They had a shot cleared off the line with about 3 minutes to go.
Trott's up.
Matt Trott is up. I said that before. Matt Trott might come up. He is up, Matt Trott. Heffernan. It's on the money towards the back post, and what a header. It's that man, Aiden Bryce. Is he going to be the man of the match, boys, or are we going to go for Ryan Clark? Or Damien Zane, maybe, for that inspired substitution.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been some great plays there today. Game's not over yet, Bart. Just wait and see.
Well, I'm going with Zaney.
Here's Broadley. I'm going to need a new voice box for the second match this afternoon. Almost 6 minutes into stoppage time. Broadley whips it in. Fogarty with the punch away. Surely that's it. Surely Edgeworth fans can celebrate another grand final. It's 2 years in a row for Edgeworth. They will do battle for grand final and major premiership supremacy. But oh, what a fight the Maitland Magpies have put on over the last 2 weekends, looking for a first grand final berth since 1981. Gee, they've done their supporters proud, but Edgeworth go through, just outlasting them in the end, 2-1 this afternoon.
Great battle from Maitland. I thought that they... Look, as you said before, Smudge, they were my dark horse, and I thought they could have actually gone on with this. Got some great players on the side, and they've really done well this season, and congratulations to them. But nothing away from Edgeworth here, and the substitution late from Damien Zane. Really enjoyed watching that goal from Moriasu, actually. That was, for me, a terrific goal with the amount of time he had to think about it, the amount of work that he had to do, and the execution was great. Some terrific players around the park today, Smudge.
Yeah, you know what? Big congratulations to Maitland Magpies. They were superb today. You know, they've done their supporters, their families, and the committee very proud. You know what? They were very unlucky not to get something out of today's game. But let's go back. Full credit to Edgeworth. They've been the best side all year. They deserve to be there on the final day of the year. And, you know, they need to get on the ice baths, get ready for Tuesday night. But, you know, big congratulations, Warren Mills, Damien Zane. And have we got a man of the match?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. I'm just going to not say anything for the next 2 minutes. I just need to let my voice recover, so I'll let you guys take it.
There's been some great players here, you know, in today's game. We've seen. Look, I've liked what Ryan Broadley's done today. So Ralphie's done well. Aiden Bryce has been good for me, and you know, also Clark has been very good. Smudge.
Oh, Clark's been brilliant. But you know what? I like to pick it from the team who won the game. So. You know what? Very difficult. Aiden Bryce. I think we're going to go with Aiden Bryce.
Well, I've got my finger on his name on the page here too. Look, I think he's done particularly well, and it's guys like that that come into this Edgeworth side that's just given them the reason, you know, like giving them the ability, the mobility, and you know the belief, you know, to go all the way. And look, they've had this big game today. They've got Tuesday night, and they've got next Sunday grand final.
And you know what? It's only half time for us. We're over to the Olympic to go get a chicken snitty, and maybe have. We're going to have a...
I'm going straight to Snow's Patisserie.
I think I might go to Raj's Corner and get some Indian, maybe.
Oh, you've done that before.
Maybe I have.
You have done that
before. Didn't go well at all.
No.
That didn't go well, Damien. All right, we are going to be back. We'll be back at 6:30. We're going to be over at Hamilton when they take on Broadmeadow Magic. I saw a few of the... saw Bobby Newmov downstairs before. Getting ready for that one at 6:30. So Magic with a 3-1 lead. But boys, can we just get a quick summary? 2 weeks of absolute fight, determination. Edgeworth finished 17 points ahead of Maitland on the ladder. And I tell you what, they put everything on the line, these 2 weeks, as you would, but gee whiz, they played well.
Yeah, for me, like I said before, I did have this conversation with Damien. I like them because they got some big name players through the game, throughout the park. Obviously, Heffernan at the back, Trotton goals. You've got Thompson in the middle. I'm only touching a few. You've got Clark up front. Benny Martin will hold the ball up. Well, they've got players all around, and then we haven't even talked about other players like Comerfords, etc., etc. They've got players and big game players who love the big stage, Smudge.
Yeah, 2 things. You know what? Structurally, they were superb in the last 2 games. They sat deep, soaked up the pressure, came home in the second half. Likes of Thompson, Heffernan, and also Reece Thompson on the bench. They worked out a game plan which really worked, and they were very unlucky then. And secondly, you know what? They're a great bunch of mates. They're there to fight for each other. You've coached them TC. You know what? They party hard and they play hard, and that's what they were out there to do it. Do it for themselves. And you know what? Congratulations to Maitland. They've had a wonderful season. I can't wait till the next game.
Edgeworth go through to the grand final. That is the summary this afternoon. Full time, Jack McLaughlin Oval. Reminder, we'll be back at 6:30. Catch us then. It was Edgeworth Eagles 2, Maitland Magpies 1.